All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is Denonu, and in this video here, we're going to be talking about The Flash, episode 5. And in this episode, this was okay. Honestly, this didn't get my blood pumping at all. It was mainly about the new villain that comes up, Psych. And he's the Sage Force user, and he's just basically going around town pretending he's, Scarecrow from Batman, making people experience their worst fears and stuff like that. And it's not really explained why he's doing it, because he's not doing it for money, but it's like he's doing it to make a point, bring down society, that kind of sort of thing. And it was one of those things where it's like, okay, Barry and company just couldn't even fight him, because every time they would roll up on him, he would put them into these, I guess, dreamscapes where they experience their worst fear. And it's not only is it a comic book trope, but it's also a movie trope at this point. So that's why as soon as I seen like the first scene, of them doing that, I'm like, okay, I can see where this is gonna go. And I wasn't a fan of it. I thought they were going to end the episode on, let's say, the heroes overcoming their fear, so to speak, because usually that's, the way those kind of tropes go. But they ended it off pretty decent. They basically got Cecile, who has the power of, let's say, empathy and I guess low-level mind reading, because she was feeling everything, he was kicking out. Towards the end of the episode, Sykes used his powers to kind of make everybody in the city feel their fears and have these dreams and stuff like that. So Barry and company did the opposite. Since Cecile's powers were kind of, jacked up through this device that DeVoe used to enhance his powers, back during that season. They had her sit in his chair and basically amplify not necessarily goodness in people, because it's not bad versus good, but I guess the strength of will to overcome your fear. And they blasted that out across the city, so everybody went back to normal. But that somehow also took down Psych, which is weird because he wasn't going through it. So if anything, how did that take him out? But that's beside the point. They got him took down, so just thought it was going to be more of a thing than that. But another cool thing that happened in this episode here is the Speed Force came back. She took the form of Barry's mom again, and is somehow damaged by, or they lead you to believe that it's damaged by these other forces that's out there, the other founding forces. So they never really wrapped that up. She's still injured but unconscious. And I think towards the end of the episode, she woke back up and said, oh yeah, it's these other users that are, causing the damage to the Speed Force. So hopefully in the next episode, I haven't seen it yet, I know it's out, but I'm hoping they kind of jump on that and explain that, because I thought these Force villains that they're, pulling up, like the strength, the speed, and well, not the speed, because Barry would be speed, but but the Sage Force, I'm sure they're going to do the Still Force and the rest of them too. I thought they would be more of a thing going to the seasons, but maybe they're like one-offs and then they all get their powers back and come back at the end or something, because I would assume that they're the threat of the season, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe, they're doing a little bit more than that this season. Maybe they're just around to show you that, oh, look, maybe next season, or maybe by the end of the season, they're going to be like the Avengers and have to come together to fight something else at the end. Because it can go either way. I know the next episode, I think it's either the next one or the one after this, or the one after that one, has something to do with time. So I'm assuming Barry's gonna mess the timeline up again by running to the past or the present. And somehow they're gonna have to deal with that. So maybe that's how the real villain of the season gets shown to us. Maybe he runs to the future and it's like, oh, here's this other villain who suddenly found Barry and he comes to the past, or something like that. I don't know. But this episode was interesting, but I can't say it was super good, honestly. Every time when I watch The Flash, I want The Flash to do Flash stuff, And this feels like an episode where it's like, okay, let's have everybody else have their moment, but not Barry. Because he doesn't really do anything. He runs to the scene and then gets, caught up in the dream thing, gets paralyzed for some reason, even though he's overcame all of the fears that he was shown, in reality. So shouldn't he have the confidence and the will to beat them in a dream? Like, where's the fear coming from? You fear stuff that you haven't beaten, or stuff that you haven't gone through yet. Like, that's like saying, oh yeah, we're going to show him a dream of Iris dying. And it's like, but you already lived through that. So seeing it again won't have the same impact. Now let's say this was like season 1, or let's say when he first got with Iris and it was like, oh yeah, Iris never had that moment where you never thought she died or whatever, and you have Barry have that experience, then yes, that would really mess him up. But no, he's already did that. That was when Savitar came back from the future and was gonna kill her and all that shit. So it's like, I don't see how a fear in a dream can affect that. I mean, maybe I'm putting too much reality to it, or putting too much logic to, a superhero show that doesn't really care about none of that stuff. But it just seems super weird to have this villain pop up and be like, oh, I'm gonna make you experience your worst fear. It's like Batman and Scarecrow. It's like, yeah, Batman can fight through the Scarecrow's fear talks. I mean, granted, he'll still see whatever he wants, but he knows it's not real, Barry should be able to do the same thing. In fact, he said it in this episode when he first put it in there. It's like, oh, this ain't real. And then like the dream punched him and he got hit. And it's like, okay, but yeah, it's still not real, right? So I don't know. That was just weird for me because that's all I could think about, during this whole episode when they fought Sight. But outside of that, I mean, like I said, this episode was okay. You had Killer Frost and Caitlin get separated into 2 different people. So this was the episode where it's like, okay, we're going to make a device that's going to put us back together, and then Killer Frost don't want to go back with Caitlin, and, because just this WB, they got to have some kind of drama in there. But I'm hoping they keep them as separate people, because I like Killer Frost a hell of a lot more than Caitlin Snow, just saying, as characters. But outside of that, there's some stuff going on with the police station with Joe and this new lady from the government who's coming in. She's coming up to lock up all the metahumans, so okay, we'll see where that goes. That's gonna probably be a thing, and she's probably gonna supersede the police and do her own thing because she's coming after Killer Frost and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna be an ongoing story point. But otherwise, guys, that's just my opinions here. So if you guys have any opinions, let me know down in the comments below. Did you like the episode, or do you hate what I'm telling you? But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.